Hi traders, welcome to the currency strength and weakness trading ideas for this upcoming week. Obviously it's going to be a huge week in the markets, but I'm going to try and guide you through the ideas that I have for the week ahead with regards to currency strength and weakness. So before we get into that, I want you to let me know in the comment section, what tools do you use when making trading decisions. There's a few tools that I use that you obviously see. I like the currency strength meter. I like looking at commitment of trade reports. I like looking at seasonal reports as well. So let me know what you like to see, and I might check them out. So let's look at the strength and weakness then. So this is the currency strength and weakness meter. This again is the original, and this one over here is the 50 MA, and I'm just keeping track of both at the moment, and I can see that there's been some decent changes that I like the look of. Obviously Kiwi still a currency I'm very interested in being short in at the moment, but we are seeing some changes. We can see there's a little bit of dollar strength coming back into the market. CAD has remained fairly neutral, and we've seen a little bit of downside in obviously the Australian dollar. That's also reflected here on the 50 MA. Really, you can see Aussie dollar making some big changes there. New Zealand staying fairly bearish as well. Dollar gaining, but the only interesting thing I find here is that CAD's gaining a little bit, where it's neutral on this side. So quite like the idea maybe of looking for CAD reversal, and there's also some commitment to trader data backing me up on that one. But let's take a look at the FX heat map. What are we looking at in terms of currency pairs this week? Again, Kiwi dollar looking pretty decent to the downside. Dollar CAD is looking a bit bullish. There we've got CAD yen looking okay. And we've got Kiwi Swiss and Kiwi yen. Now, with regards to CAD, like I said, the 50 MA is showing us there's actually a bit of underlying strength coming back into that market. So might stay away from CAD this week as well, because I've looked at some commitment to trade report data as well, which is supporting a little bit of a potential CAD long or a reversal at least. So I'll be keeping an eye on that one. That's meant to be green as well. I'll have to update that. But yeah, there's some of the markets as well which are fairly neutral right now. Aussie Swiss, Aussie CAD and things like that. But that's something I'll take a look at going into some currency pairs to watch. So let's kick it off with New Zealand US dollar. We can see obviously we're very, very bearish here. The market has continued to trade lower. This is something that, again, we spoke about last week. My only concern with New Zealand US dollar prices now is that we've come into this zone of support where these lows have been in the past. Now, I like the idea of price maybe trading through these, continuing to trade to the downside, but we may have to try and wait for some kind of retracement phase here now. We've been very, very bearish this market. And if I go down to the 4-hour time frame, we're just basically consolidating in this area. So there's no real kind of momentum move for me here right now. What I would like to see maybe is price kind of change trend a little bit, try and trade back higher, and then change trend again for a little bit of move to the downside. The other thing that we can potentially look for is price to breach out of this zone. So if we get some kind of consolidation, breakout, maybe a continuation like this, that's the only other way I can see us trading New Zealand US dollar at the moment. It's a bit similar with dollar CAD. Dollar CAD respecting that 136 level again. Markets rallied. Where's it rallied to? Into resistance up at 138. Obviously on a weekly chart, this is like a 139 potential target for some upside. We're just stalling here at this little bit of a high. Now I quite like 139 as an area of where we start to see this CAD bullishness come into the market. So I'm still looking to see if there is any kind of short-term upside. And if we go to the 4-hour time frame right now, we're just trying to break higher. This is, again, one of those nice little patterns that we talk about quite often on the 4-hour chart, where we have price forming a bit of a base here. I'll just delete this little area off. Price forming a little bit of a base. We've had a rejection, rally, rejection, but we can still see that we're making higher lows. So I quite like the idea of potentially looking for a breakout and a close above. That could be an idea to then try and trade that into that 139 handle. Looking at CAD data this week, fairly low considering the other kind of high impact data news we have this week. So definitely still looking for a bit of an upside on dollar CAD. I like the idea, like I said, of this pattern potentially breaking out on this 4-hour time frame for a little bit of a move back to the upside there. Finally, I'm going to leave it on another Kiwi pair. We're going to take a look at Kiwi Swiss. Kiwi Swiss, obviously a market that has been very bearish for us recently. I like the idea of being short Kiwi Swiss. This has been a very, very nice market to trade to the downside. Are we going to see momentum continue? Again, we are coming into a very key area of support. It's these lows back in October of 2023. And if I zoom out and kind of open this up to like a monthly chart, we don't really have the data here to kind of see what was beyond 2005 on these particular chart sets. But I can imagine this could be very bearish for sellers right now. We could see some decent downside. What I would be looking for is how price reacts here. You can see we haven't really had a very strong rejection, so that tells me that sellers are very much still in control of this. Buyers not really happy with just exiting or getting involved to try and drive prices high at the moment. So we might find a bit of chop here, and if we do, I think any kind of breakouts would be met with some further selling pressure here as well on Kiwi Swiss. But those are just a couple of ideas I got for you this week. Stay tuned on the live streams. I'll be talking through some more in a little bit more detail as well, and I'll be doing one of those tomorrow, so hopefully I'll see you there. And if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Lets me know that you like the content, and hit that like button as well. I'll really appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.